bit. I mean, you definitely do want that light jacket this morning, where yesterday you could have tossed it aside. Maybe you didn't need it really any point of yesterday, but you're going to need it this morning with temperatures in the 40s, the 50s out there for most of us. Some low 50s into the upstate, 50 in Greenville, 52 in Spartanburg, 47 in Gaffney, down towards Union, 45 in Lawrence, 50 towards Anderson, and 46 in Hendersonville. That temp change showing, yeah, it's a smidge cooler by about 15, almost 20 degrees cooler out there across the entire area. Day planner showing a lot of sunshine, 47 degrees at 8 o'clock this morning, so still wanting that jacket by 8, even 9, 10 o'clock, maybe even by lunchtime if you're outside. We're only in the low 60s, but 70s to come here for us. Taking the dog out this morning towards the afternoon, you can see the mid 60s warming for us by 1 o'clock with a bit more sunshine as well. We'll talk about when the 70s hit, maybe today into the next couple of days, plus those 80s returning over the holiday weekend coming up later. Scotty. Actually pretty typical where we should be this time of year, and then we're back to an 80. So we're getting somewhere with those temperatures. We're back to some warmer air. You know, we started this week with the 80s and we're going to end this week with the 80s. Little tease there. Today though, you know, off to a chilly start and chillier than yesterday. We're done with those milder temperatures. We had that cloud cover that kind of woke us up into areas like the 60s yesterday, but clear skies today is going to lead to a beautiful day, but off to that chilly start. Therefore 8 o'clock this morning, still in the 40s, 47. So grab that jacket. You're going to need it throughout the morning, even mid to late morning, maybe early afternoon. Low 60s around lunchtime, and then 70s come today with less wind. So you're not going to see as much pollen really blowing around like we saw the last couple of days. It was pretty windy. The winds will return now, though, just not today and tomorrow. Breezy into Friday and Saturday ahead of Easter weekend. Easter not looking so bad, but we are going to see those winds pick up, but that's going to get us to the 80s. So your weekend outlook for this holiday weekend, Saturday into Sunday, 84 to 85 degrees, about 10 to 15 degrees warmer than average for us on your Easter Sunday. Rain chances could come in late, and then mainly into Monday and Tuesday of next week. You can see we turn a bit more isolated with those, so that's something we're going to talk about later. Enjoy this. You do need that jacket before you step outside. Now, yesterday was kind of an anomaly. We didn't really need it here yesterday morning. I mean, we had the 60s when we woke up yesterday morning. This morning we're in the 40s. We're starting off fairly chilly here this morning in the 50s, getting to the 70s, but a beautiful day nonetheless. Not as windy, which I think a lot of people will like to know. We've had some windy conditions the last couple of days. Those winds die down for us across the upstate. Sunshine in 70s, so feeling nice. Some chilly mornings still to come. A little bit warmer though in the 40s to the 50s and upper 50s by the weekend, with you can see a gradual warm up, not just our lows but our highs too. Back to an 80 on Friday. Talking more about today though, in general, 47 degrees still 8 o'clock this morning, just to show you that cooler weather does stay the next several hours. Again, paired with lots of sunshine throughout the day today. It's a bit more sunshine than yesterday. 62 by noon and 70 by 4 o'clock. Your wind forecast will show you we're not quite done with a breezy week though. You know, today and tomorrow light winds, but back to breezy to gusty, just windy conditions in general for 20 to 25 mile per hour winds every once in a while into Friday and Saturday ahead of Easter. And that's going to bring us to highs in the 80s here for us. So looking nice for Easter weekend. Great for any outdoor activities that you do have, any egg hunts set both Saturday and Sunday. Partly cloudy skies, just a few clouds here and there, and mid 80s, 84 to 85. Rain late on Sunday into Monday and Tuesday. Our next rain chances very isolated. We're going to talk more about this later, but again, mild today, the coolest of the week. Tomorrow's not too far off from it though. 70s for us today and tomorrow, and then back to the 80s on Friday and the next. Not as windy, which it's going to be a beautiful day. I mean, this is pretty seasonal, close to it where we should be for this time of year. 70 into Cowpens into Gaffney, 71 into Moore and Union, 72 into Greer, Malden and Gray Court, 73, so a little bit warmer off towards the southwest into areas like Abbeville, Belton, Liberty, Seneca, 74 into Hartwell, and sunshine still in the mountains too, with 66 in Hendersonville, 63 in Waynesville, and 62 in Weaverville, 67 in Brevard. Chilly start this morning, so you do want to grab the jacket, but it's all about layers today before the mild temps come today and tomorrow, leading to the warmth into Easter weekend. So you know, we started this week in the 80s and we're going to end in the 80s too. Pretty similar to just how we started it on Monday, at least. Pulling in some cloud cover over Easter weekend, but we should stay dry for us. Sunday night, we could see some rain chances start to come on in, dependent on one model at least. But showing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday here, the 80s to return, those overnight lows in the 60s. So if you're doing any activities early, should be rather mild start and warm by the afternoon towards the evening. Dry for those egg hunts. Should be a pretty, really nice Easter weekend for us. 70s pretty typical for this time of year, but we're going to be about 15 degrees above that, close to it for that time frame. If you're wondering, is this going to be a warmer than average Easter? The answer is yes. Your Easter Sunday service forecast in the 60s to the mid 70s, so climbing quickly. That's how we get to the 80s. The breeze kicking up just well before that too, and leading us to the 80s at least by the weekend time frame. Monday into Tuesday, some rain chances. We're going to talk about more of those chances into the 6 o'clock hour, so stick around for that. When we could see the rain, if we could see the rain even at all, and we'll let you know just how high temps go.
And Greenville County leaders working to fix bumps and potholes out on the roads. The new list that they are looking
to step outside here. We have temperatures that have cooled down quite a bit. Clear skies in the 40s and 50s for us. 50 in Spartanburg, right at the dot. 50 in Clemson, 47 in Greenville, 45 from Gaffney to Union, 48, 44 in Hendersonville, and 41 even in Brevard this morning. A big change of temp, like we mentioned, when you step outside. A noticeable change of about 15 to almost 20 degrees colder in areas like Greenville, Asheville, Rutherfordton. About a 15-degree difference in Clemson down towards Greenwood. Still, I'm going to call this a beautiful day. We should be in those low to mid 70s this time of year. So we're going to be close to that as we climb through your afternoon and evening. But starting off still rather chilly the next couple of hours in the 40s before we reach the 50s by 9, 10 o'clock. A 60 arrives just before lunchtime with a whole lot of sunshine today and not as windy, which is nice. We're not going to be blowing around that pollen, which got kind of gross yesterday, so don't have to worry about that. We're just talking about a mild day with sunshine in the 70s for us. So we're going to have temperatures eventually climbing back to the 80s, kind of how we started at least the work week for us. Ending this week in the 80s, a good climb to come our way. We're talking more about this later. Let's take a check of the roadways here this morning. First alert traffic with Chris Scott. Upstate alerts, Chris.
Yeah, we're just checking around to see if we see anything in the way.
We're back to an 80 at least by Friday. Now it does come with not as windy conditions, which is great news, especially from those allergy sufferers. The pollen's not going to be blown around all crazy today like it was the past couple of days. We're going to get to actually enjoy the sunshine in 70s if you're going to be outside later. 70s and sunshine again on Thursday, 80s and sunshine on Friday. And we're actually going to warm up even more so into your Easter weekend. Starting off chilly this morning, this is a story. We're not stepping out into the 60s like we were this time yesterday. It's going to be the upper 40s the next several hours. So still want to grab that jacket. Maybe something a little thicker too with layers if you're going to be in the mountains because you're going to be a bit cooler. Mid 60s by lunchtime and then 70s with light west winds, at least for today into tomorrow too, before the breeze does return Friday into Saturday. Get ready for wind gusts back around 20 to 25 miles per hour leading into the weekend. Some southwest winds and west winds really helping us warm and reach highs in the 80s over Easter weekend. So well above average for this time of year, both Saturday and Sunday. We're going to pull in some cloud cover throughout this time frame, but at least staying dry for those egg hunts. Anything really you got going on, maybe outside brunch or dinner that you have happening Saturday into Sunday. Just enjoying the weekend, the holiday weekend in general. Your travel should be just fine with some rain moving in late, potentially into Easter Sunday night, into Monday and Tuesday. But I will advise you that we do have shower chances that are all over the place at this point. Models just can't agree on when we're going to see this rain, which we'll talk more about later. What we can agree on is a beautiful day, mild and sunshine with highs in the 70s for us across the area, into the upstate, low to mid 70s for us here. Mountains, the upper 50s to low to mid 60s, leading into the warmth. Back into it. Friday, 80s do return. Feeling nice, guys, eventually giving us sunshine to help us warm quite a bit throughout the day, which we'll talk about. But let's talk about how you're going to be stepping out to a 50 in Spartanburg, 47 in Greenville, 48 in Anderson, 46 in Hartwell, 44 even in Gaffney. So seeing those temperatures start to decline a bit, which is going to be the case over the next couple of hours as well. 44 in Hendersonville, 41 in Brevard, and 37 in Waynesville. Yeah, just a little bit chillier compared to this time yesterday. Good old 15 to 20 degrees colder across the upstate. Almost 20 degrees chillier in Greenville here. 22 in Asheville, 20 in Franklin, and about 15 in Clemson and Anderson. Beautiful day, though. I mean, I know this is cooler than how we started the week, but you guys, we should be in the low to mid 70s, and that's where we're going to tap out for a lot of the highs today. So very typical April weather coming our way. Still taking us a while to warm up, 46 to 52 from 7 to 9. But hey, it's not paired with windy conditions like the past couple of days. A lot of sunshine. 60s come our way around lunchtime, and we warm up nicely into the afternoon with 70s. So yeah, it's a cool Wednesday, but we're warm by the weekend, back to the mid 80s, well above average for Easter weekend. Starting off in the 40s and 50s, but reaching 71 in areas like Moore, Union, 70 in Cowpens towards Gaffney with a whole lot of sunshine. And you know what? Not as windy too. Barely going to be a breeze out there for the upstate. From Liberty towards Belton, 72 to 73, 73 in Seneca. Off towards the mountains, the 60s is where we're going to stay by the afternoon towards the evening. 63 in Waynesville, 66 in Hendersonville, 63 in Weaverville, and 67 in Brevard. So starting off chilly, but easily transitioning throughout the day to mild temps today into tomorrow. Friday, we're back to some warmer air, though, and that does lead us into your Easter weekend. Your forecast showing above average temperatures, which we're going to talk about, even starting on Friday. 80s come back into play. Overnight lows in the 50s and 60s and highs in the 80s throughout the entire weekend. Saturday into Sunday, 84 to 85 for that high. So this is great activity weather, right? We like to get out. Hopefully you do in those mid 80s, which is going to be set for Saturday into Sunday. Those egg hunts are good to go. We stay nice and dry, not completely sunny. We do start to pull in some cloud cover. Again, this is well above normal. You know, we were talking in the newsroom this morning and everyone's like, oh, mid 80s for April. Yeah, this is maybe a little bit of a shock because we should be in the mid 70s for this time of year. Today we're below this, but again, we go above average into not the coming days, but shortly after that. Your Easter service forecast then starting off in the 60s by 7 o'clock, by 9, still in those mid 60s at least, so warming slightly, and then by 11 noon in those mid 70s to an 80 to come later on that day. We just missed the rain too, so models, I will say, the two long-term that we normally look at are not really getting along well. They're not agreeing on what we're seeing with those rain chances into next week. We're going to see at least cloud cover move in over the weekend. I think this is something we're going to get to, partly to mostly cloudy skies, maybe on Easter Sunday, and then rain chances potentially coming in Monday into Tuesday for us, where some other models do want to keep us drier, but it's something that we're just going to keep on the 7-day and keep a close eye on here. So rain chances potentially into the start of next week with those 80s still